This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Well, I would just say dim the lights, draw the curtain, and fade to black. A little this, that, and that's all she wrote. Heebity. That's all, folks. Wow. Before the program is over, we're hoping to get to the bottom of what went wrong. The Wild seem to be for every step they take. Now, you don't take a step in hockey. Before you put one skate in front of you, they take two steps back. The Wolves begin their season here on Wednesday. The ALCS is down to one final game. And, of course, NFL, wacky and wild as always. With all those topics to get to, I'm not sure where to begin today, so let's spin the wheel of topics.
Wheel of Topics!
Commons Golf Game.
Oh, that's a bright spot.
What'd you shoot today?
I shot an 81.
Where'd we play?
At Loggers Trail.
Where'd you hit it on? One?
Right up the gut.
How far from the green?
I had 104 to the pin.
Second shot?
I hit it a little long. The wind was at my back. I should have hit the 45 degree instead of the pitching one.
Then what?
I three-putted. But it's all good. Yeah, it's all good. I on my 2 days off, it was just awful. I played as bad, and it's. On my final round at Mystic Lake Friday afternoon at the Meadows at Mystic Lake, I had more shanks than I had birdies and pars combined. More shanks. So then I took a long, hard look at myself. I went to the range Saturday morning, got up early, got out of bed, dried a comb across my head. And I'm now incorporating, I think I told you, Tenneby, I have this where I've always been a guy that as I'm getting ready, as I address the ball and as I'm making my move away from the ball with the club, pulling the club away, I'm a swayer. And I've worked on just making the turn my upper torso. I decided to bring that into all of my clubs, not just the driver. And within 20 minutes, I had it figured out. Today, at 81's nothing to write home about. That was with a double and a triple, though. So again, I played 4 holes. Or 16 holes in 4 over and hit the ball really, really well. So I think it might be it's a new beginning for me. It's only the beginning. Matter of fact, we would have probably been better off playing only the beginning and gone over my round shot by shot. But that's the synopsis of and you asked, not me. That's what the Wheel of Topic landed on. So what am I supposed to do? That's where it ended up. Still think Wentz should get a better chance to win with Wentz than we do with McCarthy. Wow, that was a game that was right there, Tenneby.
There for the taking.
It was there for the taking. There might be moral victories in in-house basketball, right? 3rd grade.
Yeah.
There are no moral victories in the National Football League. But I thought we were going to pull the fat out of the fire. I thought we were going to win that football game. And red zone issues tend to be at big plays and turnovers. We turned the ball over a couple of times, one for a tutty the other way. And, they had some big plays on the other side of the ball. I mean, we had not given up. If I have my numbers right, when you read recaps of the game, there's so much information. It's hard for me to even keep track. But I think I saw that we'd only given up, like we being the Vikings. Pretty soon it's going to be they. If it keeps up like this, I'll abandon ship. But as Dido sing-sang sung, it's white flag. You and I have not given up yet. We're not going to raise our arms and surrender. There will be no white flag above our door. I think we'd given up only 3 passes of 20 air yards or more all season long, and we gave up. I mean, their quarterback, Jalen Hurts, did he have a perfect QB rating yesterday? Wasn't it perfect? Wasn't it like 153.8? It's just like, how do you do that? I thought we were B-flow.
A lot of those are on 3rd and 13 type situations.
I thought we were B-flow. I thought we were aggressive without being reckless. And We couldn't let him go anywhere.
It seemed like we weren't blitzing as much yesterday.
Yeah, and I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying, I just go back to all the things that the people tell me that, it's all B-flow. And when he's in charge, it doesn't matter who the players are. And when we have O'Connell as the head coach, it doesn't matter who our quarterback is. And it does matter. It really does. It's the players that play and the coaches that coach. And, as a matter of fact, I think the Fish Fry Factory West Side it was either Saturday or Sunday, they did a big spread on Zayraj, and he got burned a couple of times, big time. Especially that last one was the killer. That was the one that iced it for him. And we stopped the running game. Barkley has not had a good year compared to last year.
No,
last year he
ran
for over 2,000 yards. We held him to 48. But the red zone failures were bad. There was Wentz threw the interception for the tutty that went the other way. That was a bad throw. The Hawkinson catch. And I know Hawkinson complained about it, and I guess on the letter of the law, Tenneby, I don't know what you thought. I think it is an incompletion, though. I've never understood that rule. To me, I've always said that, you and I have talked about this. If the ball touches the ground at all, it should be incomplete, but that's not the rule. But it did look like when it touched, he rolled back over and bobbled it a bit, and I guess, Hawkinson contends, and he says the referees on the field insisted it was a catch, but it's because they're going by what they saw with the naked eye.
They're not seeing slow motion replay with the certain camera angle that shows you the perfect spot.
And so that was bad. And then when the center snapped it over Wentz's head, we were 1 for. Was it 1 for 5 or 1 for 6 in the red zone? We had to
I think it was 1 for 6. We had 5 field goals.
Yeah, we had to settle for figgies, and just wasn't enough. And a game that was right there to be had slips away. And we went from an opportunity to be right near the top of the NFC North. We're at rock bottom right now. We're sitting at the bottom, despite the fact that we 3-3. 3-3, a 500 record still isn't too terribly bad, but we'll try to get to the bottom and tell you what went wrong and so many other topics as well. Peek at the purple other side of the break. Head coach will not address the media today. Generally, he does his day after the game news conference on a Monday. I think he's going to do it on a Tuesday.
It's a short week.
It's a short week. I guess that's why he's doing it on tomorrow instead. That'll be at, I think, 1:20, 1:30, 1:15, whatever the case may be. We'll have it for you. We'll take a short break. We'll talk more purple and a variety of other topics as well. But as we go to break, Tenneby, I believe, has a keyword in our National Cash Contest.
The fan and 2 men in the junk truck want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our National Cash Contest. Just enter the keyword WIN at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. That keyword is WIN. Enter now at KFAN.com. Bucks is back on KFAN. We have 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday. That's every hour from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. To enter the keywords and learn more, head to KFAN.com. Bonus Bucks is presented by 2 men in a junk truck.
Couple 13-14 past Common Man program. I'm Common. He is Tenneby. Peek at the purple, brought to you by Affordable Electric. If you've gone EV with your car, truck, or SUV, let family-owned Affordable Electric get you powered up by installing a Level 2 EV charging system. If peace of mind is what you're looking for at home, Affordable Electric can install a Ring doorbell, too, if that's what you'd like. There's so many things they can do. They'll give you an evaluation of your electrical system. Whatever the case may be, any electrical need that you have, reach out to my friends at Affordable Electric. It's easy to do. Affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric.com. Affordable Electric is shockingly affordable. Oh, boy. Yikes. There are so many key plays. Maybe you have a couple in mind. 2 that stand out. Well, first, the pick 6 was bad, but I don't even know if that was the most egregious mistake by Wentz. The one that I thought was, I still don't understand what he was thinking, and this would be Wentz. It's third quarter, 2nd and 8 from the Philadelphia 9, and Wentz throws incomplete, and he's called for intentional grounding. I don't know where he was. I mean, it was so obvious he was going to. You just take the sack there, but I don't know how he doesn't see C.J. Ham wide open out in the flat.
Well, not only that, as Pete mentioned on the broadcast,
Pete Versich, the interior decorator.
When you get towards the end zone, they will never call intentionally grounding if you throw it out the back of the end zone.
Right, exactly.
So, like, all you have to do is, once you realize you don't know what you're going to do here, you don't have to just chuck it to the ground. You just throw it out the back of the end zone, and we don't lose any yardage.
So he's got Ham wide open on the left side, and he just pushes it forward. And then, of course, now you lose down, distance, and yardage in a play. It was just a killer because on the very next play, now it's 3rd and 18 from the Philadelphia 19. We complete a short pass to Hawkinson, but he can't break a tackle. There's no yard after catch. I will contend the Hawkinson trade with Detroit was the second worst trade this franchise has ever made.
Wow.
The worst was, well, what they gave up for him. They gave up a 2nd and a 3rd round pick, number 55 and 73. And he's good, but and then the Lions went and drafted Laporta, who, I'm sorry, Laporta is a significant upgrade over Hawkinson. I would say the Herschel Walker trade was the worst. I can't think of a worse trade than the Hawk.
Well, how about Randy Moss to the Raiders?
Yeah, I guess that would be number.
Especially when we turn that 7 overall pick into Troy Williamson.
Okay, you're right. Maybe that was the worst, second worst. But that I don't understand.
He had a couple just mind meltdowns, right? How about the one where he threw the backward pass towards the sidelines?
Yeah. That
turned into like a 7-8 yard loss. Even his second interception, throwing the ball 30, 40 yards down, across the body a little bit while you're on the run.
Right. Despite all of that, someone said pretty sure Hawk was traded for a 4th and a 5th round pick. No, he wasn't.
That's incorrect.
He was traded for a 2nd and a 3rd.
It was definitely a 2nd, and then there might have been like a pick swap or something.
It was a 2nd and a 3rd. And I am I'm the host of, I work for the worst all sports radio station in the country. I think I would remember the trade. 2nd and a 3rd.
So the Vikings sent a 2nd round pick and a 3rd round pick to Detroit. We got Hawkinson, a 4th round pick, and a conditional pick in 2024.
Pick number 55 and 73, Detroit got for Hawkinson. Think what you could get at 55 and 73. And again, I like Hawkinson, and he's a good player, but man. Anyway.
Well, Kwesi's history drafting, I think I'd rather take the player.
Yeah, you're probably right. Despite all, and Wentz made some plays, too. I mean, I know, I got a lot of pushback last week when I suggested, even if McCarthy's ready to play, I keep going with Wentz until Wentz completely melts down and the Vikings. As long as Wentz continues to play relatively well and the Vikings win football games, I would keep playing Wentz. Much of the pushback I got were from fans who were already giving up on the season. And maybe you give up on it now at 3-3, sitting in last place in the NFC North. I would not give up yet. It's not like we have been completely outclassed we're not the New York Jets, okay? That game was there to be had yesterday. But despite all, Wentz made some really good plays, too. But really where I think the biggest play of the game, and they usually are the ones that, even though a play in the first quarter and a play in the fourth quarter can have as much effect on a game, it's 3rd and 9 for Philadelphia. They're on their own 44. This is late in the fourth quarter, right? $1:35 to go in the game. We get a stop. We're down 6. We can get the ball back. We got one, and I don't remember wasn't it our guy Rodgers, and who made the
A.J. Brown?
Was it A.J. Brown who made the catch? 45-yard completion. How does that happen at that stage right there? And again, as we talked about, I mentioned earlier, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, there was a big spread on how good Rodgers has been and what a great acquisition he was for us. And he's a good player. And guys get burned. He was burned a couple of times in that game. That was twice, and that was the second one. And he bit on an inside move, and he was wide, and that was game. You could, if you come up with a stop there, that's not to suggest that we win the game for sure, but that we still had an opportunity with minute 35 to go in the game.
It was almost like the Eagles had the scouting report on him.
Yeah, maybe
they'd seen him.
They'd seen him, and that was that. So, yeah, I mean there were
big plays and turnovers.
Big plays and turnovers, and the inability to do anything in the red zone. And I realized, I mean, it seemed like the Eagles were right for the taking, right? Because they had lost 2 games in a row. Hurts had not played well in those 2 games. If I'm correct, I don't think he was. I mean, Philadelphia wasn't very good at all. Obviously, they lost 2 games in a row, but Hurts was really good yesterday. And even when we did apply pressure, he was able to find a way to make it a place to get a perfect quarterback rating. I mean, I expect more from the defense, I guess. I don't know. It's a disappointing loss for sure. McCarthy, everybody insists on a short week he won't start this week. I don't know how people feel about that. Again, I know Wentz had his problems. And he was a large part of the reason they lost. But I think the defense they gave up too many big plays. I don't know. It's disappointing, to say the least. Let's pause, come back. By the way, a peek at the purple brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric for all of your electrical needs. And if you're looking for work, they want an apprentice electrician and a journeyman electrician, go to affordable-electric.com, affordable-electric.com. We'll take a short break, come back with more here on the Common Man program on The Fan.
Baby's crying, that's normal, but if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's okay to step away. Never shake a baby. Shaking can kill, and 1 in 4 don't survive. Survivors often face permanent brain damage. Learn more and give the day at nevershakemn.com.
I've been a sad girl.
Couple 13-14 past Common Man program. Doing a little reminiscing in regards to the Vikings' loss yesterday to 28-22. Was that the final? We lose to the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending big game world champions. Fourth quarter, 6:35 remaining, right? Vikings put together a pretty good drive. They start at their own 28. And I'm looking at the play-by-play provided by soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings media department. Wentz completes to Addison for 7 yards. He completes another pass to Addison for 14 and a first down. Incomplete to Jefferson, incomplete to Thielen. And then Wentz scrambles for a first down. He did a couple of those. He found an opening. He scrambles up the middle to the Philadelphia 35 for 16 yards. And a couple of incompletions to Jefferson and Hawkinson. Then he scrambles left tackle to Philadelphia 23 for 12 yards. So he runs for back-to-back first downs. Incomplete, deep right to Jefferson. Short pass to Addison to the Philadelphia 15 for 8. Then it's the completion to Hawkinson for a tutty. Replay official, they call it back. Then the Vikings, there's 2:58 to go, Tennessee. 4th and 2, Philadelphia 15. Wentz completes to Addison to the Philadelphia 10, 5 yards. They get a first down. But then, once again, they fail in the red zone. Wentz is sacked, loses 8 yards. Short completion to Hawkinson to the Philadelphia 11 for 7, and then incomplete to Naylor. And then the Vikings have to kick the field goal after the 2-minute warning. And, hindsight's always 20/20. Yeah. But you wonder if once it all went wrong, should they have kicked they needed another score, and they needed to score twice. They were down 9.
Yeah.
They had all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. Should they have kicked the Figgy after the Hawkinson play was called back and then tried to stop Philadelphia? It's easy to second guess. At the time, I didn't mind them. You might not get any closer for the touchdown, right? So you go for it on 4th down, you get the first down, so that was all good. But then you can't capitalize on it. They were just so miserable in the red zone. It was just awful, right?
Yeah. So it is easy to look back afterwards, but even at the time, I was like, you should just kick the field goal here, get to one possession. I think what happened after that was kind of worst case scenario, in that not only did you not score then after, you didn't score a touchdown after that point, you wasted a minute off the clock. If they would have taken the field goal at that time, I think they still had 2:50, which gives yourself a chance that if Philadelphia gets a first down, you still have a chance from a timeouts and 2-point conversion and time standpoint to still, you really reduce you eliminate your margin for error on the second part of that after you waste that minute off the clock and you get on the wrong side of the 2-minute warning.
So do you think, you needed a tutty and a field goal. And so if you're that close and you decide to go for it, they did pick up the first down.
Yeah.
So that's why I can't really, I know there are other people that think that was a bad decision. They want to throw the blame on O'Connell. And look, I'm no O'Connell apologist, but I don't, I want to get it as soon as I can. But like you say, the worst case happened where they burned off a whole minute off the clock. And then they didn't score.
Once you decide to go for it and you have a fresh 4, new set of downs, you just got to be good. You got to throw the ball to the end zone.
Yeah.
You can't be dinking and dunking and taking time off the clock.
Yes, that's exactly right. And so but
to your point that, a lot of the discussion has been on the Hawkinson end of the catch. You got to make that throw. I mean, he is wide open in the end zone. It's not a precise dime you need to throw. You got to make the throw. He missed the throw. And I don't know what Hawkinson is watching. Even a lot of people, just reaction on social media. I'm like, are you guys watching the same replay I am? Because it was pretty clear he caught it originally, hits the ground. After he rolls over, you can see that ball bobbling around.
Yeah.
He didn't have possession of it. So to me, that was an easy overturn. And I'm surprised others don't see it that way.
Yeah, I think part of that is they're viewing it with purple colored glasses. That's what it is. It's look, to me, I said this in the opening segment. I think at any time, if any part of the ball touches the ground, didn't that used to be incomplete? Or has that always been? I always thought if the ball touched the ground and even if it just nicked it, to me, that's incomplete. But because it's not, because if you cradle, so by the letter of the law.
I don't know how you would define, you would never be able to make a diving catch ever then in the history of the NFL, because it's going to touch the ball. The ground's going to touch the ball. The ball's going to touch the ground at some point on your way down.
Well, no, not if you get your hands under it. You could still make a diving catch without the ball touching the ground. Can't you?
I have no problem with I know we've gone through a lot with this type of play over the last 15 years. I think your guy Megatron had one in a game against Chicago.
Where he caught it and he used it to brace himself in the end zone. Is what he did. He caught it, and as he was coming down, he put it on the ground. I just think if the ball touches the ground anytime, it should be an incomplete pass, and you eliminate any controversy. But because the rule is the way it is, and that's where, even though he juggled it. I think the rule should have been a catch, but by the rule, it's not. Because of exactly what you said. He did not retain possession, but even though it touched the ground and then he bobbled it, when he came to rest, he still had the football in his hands. To me, that's a catch. I've never liked the rule of what's determined a catch or what's not. I think the NFL has it all wrong, and I guess I must be in the vast minority because I just think it's crazy. I think if it touches the ground, it should be incomplete. But because if it touches the ground and you retain possession, and when he bobbled it, but when he came to rest, he had it, did he not?
How would you define then, the way you like it, if you have your ball under the hand, right, when you're diving for a catch, and your ball's under it, but even the nose of the football is hanging outside of your hand and that part touches the ground?
Incomplete.
Yeah.
Incomplete. This way, it's at that point.
To me, if you've caught the ball and the ball isn't moving around after you hit the ground, it should be a catch.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I guess. I guess you're right. I guess.
And I get it. Like, there's a lot of gray area with this rule, which is what all the consternation comes from. But to me, on this one, I think it was pretty clear after he hit the ground, that ball bobbled around and he didn't have full possession of it at that point. So after it touches the ground and then you don't have possession of it before you regain possession, that's where it gets overturned.
I guess that is the way it's described.
But if you catch it, ball hits the ground and it never moves from your hands, or even if it stays in your possession the whole time, that should be a catch to me.
Yeah. But that was not the case in yesterday's. It was not.
No,
you're absolutely right.
I think they got the right call.
I think they got it right. And so, I don't know. I don't know how many times Wentz was sacked, but the line is still a little leaky, right? I don't know. We had O'Neal back. Mm-hmm. Darrisaw's there. Did Jackson play? I don't even recall.
Yeah, he played.
He played? I don't know.
It was the center that caused the most issues, the one that we'd heard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, I think the penalty against him was a bad call.
That was a terrible
It was not a holding call.
That was a terrible call.
Obviously, that bad snap. Now, they got lucky. Reichard saved his bacon on that one.
Yeah.
He had to kick a 59-yard field goal all of a sudden.
Correct.
But he had a sack that killed the drive. He had that the bad snap that killed the drive.
Yeah. Does Dallas Turner, does he affect the game in any way, shape, or form other than negatively? Did he do anything?
You're talking about bad trades earlier. Right now, the amount of draft picks they traded to go up and get him, that don't look good.
No. And
he's a non-factor.
Yeah, he's been a non-factor. For sure, a non-factor. And I don't know. I'm getting text messages again on the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line, people saying it's over, season's over, and it's like, well, have you been watching the league? They're really
the entire league is full of parity.
It's actually someone. I mean, we're going to do the NFL Roundup later. I watched Denver put up 33. I watched that game. We had both TVs going. Mm-hmm. Deuce and I had both TVs going. So I had the Packer-Cardinal game on, and then I was going on CBS. They had Chargers-Colts. We didn't need Danny Dimes. That guy can play football, man. He's really good. He's
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Yeah. We should have offered him the contract, I guess. That's what we should have done anyways. All
of the quarterbacks we've passed on in this offseason have all done well.
Yeah.
Danny Dimes. Now, technically he, I think, turned down us.
Yeah.
But
that's because I think he knew he was not going to be the starting quarterback. And then it was like, no, we're going with our hand-picked guy, McCarthy.
But Darnold's been good, and we'll see him again tonight.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers has been good.
Yeah. That Broncos-Giants game, I don't suppose you saw any of it. It was crazy.
I saw highlights of it,
It was absolutely insane. I couldn't believe. I mean, that was some National Football League, right? It was like the most points in a fourth quarter by any team in NFL history that had no points going into the fourth quarter. They scored 33 points in the quarter.
Most of it in the last 5.5 minutes. Well, I think 25 of them.
There was 6.5 minutes to go, I think, when they started the comeback. The dart guy made the one bad throw. He threw the interception. That was critical. Had he not done that, who knows what happens? Of course, if the place kicker for the Giants doesn't miss 2 extra points, that game could have been totally different as well. But that was insane. So you look at the way the only team that seems like it's righting their. It goes back to it's just hard to beat Kansas City. It seems like.
They're coming on now.
Yeah, I think they're coming on.
Yeah.
But I don't look at anybody in the NFC. I mean, Rams are pretty good, but I don't think
Lions might be the best team.
I don't know. Tampa.
Or we'll see Tampa Bay. I think the winner of that game tonight will be kind of anointed as the top team.
Yeah, I think the problem with again, if you're a Lions fan, and I am, and your secondary is beat up again, just like it was. Their defense was decimated last year. Their secondary is in shambles now. And then the Branch clown gets the penalty. So he's out on a suspension, not an injury. He's suspended. They need him. He's one of their better defensive players. He's out. And with the way Mayfield's been playing, I think Detroit could be in trouble tonight. I think Tampa Bay is going to go to 6-1. They're 5. You know what? I think they're going to go to 6-1. I think Tampa looks really good. So, but yeah, if you're the Vikings, you don't give up on the season yet. That'd be foolish. But there are people that think the season is, and I get it. You know, it's that when you've been a fan of the purple for your entire life, and I mean, we know the history. You know, the lack of success in big games and NFC Championship games the last 6 times. It's you're expecting the worst, right? But I don't know. Chargers aren't. They're okay. Well,
that's the thing. The entire league is a bunch of okay teams, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Chargers through the first 3 weeks. I remember watching Herbert against Kansas City in week 1 going, this is a new Justin Herbert.
Well, you and I were saying, finally, big things have been predicted for the Chargers every year for the past 3, 4, 5 years. And you and I have always doubted it. This was the year after the start to their season. We thought maybe this is the year that they put it all together. And they were rolled by the Colts yesterday. I just don't think they're that good.
And if you want to talk about elite teams in the National Football League, I guess we all had preconceived notions of what the Indianapolis Colts were going to be. So I think we've all been late to the party on wanting to anoint them one of the top teams. But at this point, you know, the teams are beating and even when they've had a poor schedule, they're just absolutely steamrolling some teams. Their offense can't be stopped. At some point, we have to go, well, maybe the Indianapolis Colts are one of the best teams in football.
I think maybe they are. I think maybe that. And here's one right here. This text message says, Chargers, Ravens, Kitties, all losses 3-6. The season's over. What happened to tough love? Well, there's nothing happened to. What is he talking about? Tough. I don't know what the tough love. This is the tough love covenant, but I don't think the season's over. That has nothing to do with declaring the season over at this time. That has nothing to do with tough love. I don't even know what the point he's trying to make. Do I think the Vikings are going to win the big game? No, but you don't give up on the season. What is that? It's craziness. There are those. They
weren't that far off. And every NFL team can say this. Yeah. They were not so far beyond the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday where they couldn't win that. They could have easily won that game. In fact, you could argue at moments they were the better team in that game. It seemed like they shot themselves in the foot more often than Philadelphia stopped them. They could move the ball at will yesterday.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Here's another. We're not going to the big game with Wentz. They need to put the kid in to find out what we've got. Everybody keeps saying we've got to put the kid in to find out what we've got. No, we don't. There's no rush to put him in to find out what we got. If the Vikings lose the next 3 and go 3-6, then put the kid in because it is over. But at this point, it's not. They can beat the Vikings. Still have enough talent. They can beat the Chargers, the Ravens, and the kid. They can beat all 3 of those teams. They could lose to all 3 as well. I get it.
I still think that's, and I know they don't want to admit it. I still think McCarthy, it's a soft bench, is what they call it. Like it's not a full out. Hey, we're benching him. I still think, hey, we're going to let him sit down, right? Because right now the argument is, well, once he's 100% healthy, then I guess we'll talk.
Yeah.
There are quarterbacks in this league that are playing not 100%. Correct. Carson Wentz isn't 100% healthy. No. He's got a beat up shoulder. Pat Mahomes, and I get it, this is Mahomes compared to J.J. McCarthy, but Pat Mahomes has played through ankle sprains before, right? Like if they really thought, hey, McCarthy can play right now if he needed to play. They had him as the emergency quarterback.
Yeah.
I think it's partially, hey, let's give Wentz a look. And I was all for that. I would have given Wentz a look against Philadelphia. Didn't look great. I didn't think it was awful, but he had some really, really bad moments in that game. And you take it game by game with Wentz. And if you want to move on to McCarthy this week, I would be fine with that. But I'm not. Right. I'm not in the boat of, well, we got to take a look at what we got. Well, there's plenty of time to do that.
And I think that's the point. I think that's where you and I agree. If they announced today McCarthy was starting, I'd say, okay, great, play him.
Yes.
But I don't think that. This one says, I'd rather see the kid because I think he gives us a better chance to win football games. If that's what you believe,
yes.
That's all fine and good.
And that might be right.
It might be right. From what I've seen, and it's only been 2 games, I would say no. I think he would have been lost yesterday, but maybe not. He did have that one great quarter. I think people put a lot into that one quarter, too, against, was that the Bears? Or the Falcons? It was the Bears, right? We had the one great quarter, the fourth quarter, where he threw 3 touchdown passes. I think a lot of people put a lot of stock in that. Maybe they should.
I still think if the Vikings believed that J.J. McCarthy gave them the best chance to win, that even with an ankle that's not 100%, he's out there in the field against Philadelphia.
I absolutely 100% agree with you there. And so I think that's what they think. It is. You're seeing all over the league young quarterbacks playing well. Who's the kid for San Fran? Mac Jones? Is that his name? Is it Mac?
Yep.
He's playing pretty well.
That's the quarterback whisperer.
Yeah, that is.
Drake May looks fantastic.
Yeah, Drake May looks great. The Dart kid.
He looks great.
He looks really good, too. There's a lot of, how about Bo Nix for Denver? He was brilliant yesterday in that fourth quarter. There's a lot of good young quarterbacks, so I understand that.
But even Bo Nix is like 4 years older than J.J.
Right.
McCarthy.
I understand that people are anxious to see what we have in McCarthy, and there are those that they look at the makeup of this. My only argument to it, because if you want to consider this tough love, you could say maybe the Vikings defense isn't as good as I thought they would be when they acquired those 2 inside guys. Hargrave and
Jonathan Williams?
Yeah, it was his name?
Is that right? Jonathan Williams?
No, Jonathan Allen, isn't it?
I'm sorry.
Jonathan
Javon
Allen.
Hargrave, yeah.
Because yesterday, the defense had just as much to do with that loss as going 1 for 6 in the red zone. I mean, I don't know
when
how
they needed stops, they didn't get them.
They didn't get them.
No,
they didn't get enough pressure on Hurts, and they didn't cover. And so, and all I've been told by, I will go back to Donatel. He was an awful defensive coordinator. Now that we got Flores there, we were supposed to sign him to a lifetime deal and I'm not blaming it all on Flores. The reason I always push back on that quarterback whisper and the Flores stuff is because people want to believe that these guys they're Lombardi-like, and they're both really good coaches. You can't deny it. But I don't think because
a coach can only do so much.
He can only do so much. He can't go out there and cover the receivers. He can't apply a pass rush, and the quarterback can't throw the ball for the quarterback. So, even did you see? Did you watch any of the Packer game?
I watched parts of it. Yes,
Jacoby Brissett looked pretty good yesterday. Did you see?
He looked good the week before.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, but. I don't know. We just can't seem to find a quarterback, and I think that people are anxious to see McCarthy. They see the success of other kids around the league. They see the Bo Nixes of the world. They see the
Drake Mays,
Jalen Daniels. They see these guys and they think that, well,
and Caleb Williams.
Yeah, let's see our guy, and there'll be plenty of time.
It's because J.J. McCarthy brings hope, and they like buying that hope.
That's exactly it. Let's take a break, come back. Remember, no coach today. He'll do his day after the game news conference 2 days after the game. Did you say it was 1:15 scheduled for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, 1:15, yeah.
1:15. So we start at 1. It's the PJ Flex Show. Speaking of that, we'll talk over football.
We'll talk about it next.
That's a tale of two weekends. As bad as they looked last week, even they beat Purdue, they looked awful. They were really good against Nebraska, but plenty more to get to here on the Common Man program. As a matter of fact, 10MU, you have a tease, correct?
Yeah, we got quite the predicament tonight.